Hello, everybody. Mike Molina here. Well, I want to take a few minutes to talk about a very exciting down payment assistance program having to do with the use of solar. So you may or may not know that of the three things that are required to obtain financing for a home, which is income, credit, and down payment assets, okay, of the three, the biggest impediment to homeownership is by far and away down payment. Surprisingly, it's not credit and it's not income, it's actually down payment. Now, most people think that you need to have 20% down to buy a home, and that's just not accurate. In fact, if you take the 20% down payment approach, on average, it will take people about 23, almost 24 years to save a 20% down payment for the average median priced home. But another thing that's really interesting is that only about 32% of people know that there are options for a lower down payment, and even fewer are aware that there are down payment assistance options available to them. So with most down payment assistance programs, and there's a little bit of a misunderstanding, when people are talking about first-time buyer programs, they're really talking about down payment assistance programs by and large, because that is the biggest obstacle. And with everything, there's a trade-off. So with the down payment assistance program, you're not going to get lower rates or lower fees. You're actually going to get, on average, is a little bit higher rate and almost always higher fees, okay? And they also come with some other restrictions having to do with income or sales price or things like that. This particular down payment assistance program that I'm going to discuss in a moment, having to do with solar, which must be used in conjunction with an FHA loan, it's only eligible for FHA loan financing, does everything a normal FHA loan can do and more. It provides real down payment assistance help ranging from 3.5% to 5%, has zero cash to close options. It offers both permanent and temporary interest rate buydowns, such as the 1-1 buydown, the 2-1 buydown, and the 3-2-1 temporary buydown subsidy programs. There are no income limits. There's no additional loan fees. Standard FHA rates apply. There are no second liens or payments on the down payment assistance portion, and there's no solar red tape. So there was an article in Housing Wire back in July that made its way all across the country. It was quite the buzz for a while, and it still is quite the buzz, talking about a company called Arcasa and how they've paved the way to use buying a home with installing solar panels as a way to get down payment assistance, because the biggest cost when purchasing solar panels comes in the sales commission. Arcasa has eliminated that using what would normally be commissions to the benefit of the homeowner, or potential homeowner, I should say, for down payment assistance. Now, in Utah, this program is exclusive to us here at Intercap Lending. And in other states like California, it's semi-exclusive with Intercap and only a couple other companies being able to offer this program. So how do these loans work? What's involved in it? And, what is the benefit of it? Well, a picture is worth 1,000 words, so I'm going to go through an actual example scenario and show you what some of the benefits are and the comparisons. So to better understand exactly how the program works, let's take a look at a hypothetical $500,000 purchase price for a typical home using an FHA loan and compare it to other down payment assistance options. So here we have 5 different comparisons. This column here is just a standard FHA loan where the buyer is bringing in their own down payment. The second option here is the more traditional type of down payment assistance programs, such as the Utah Housing Program offered in Utah and the Cal HFA program offered in California. This option here is the solar-only assistance program. So it is possible, say a person has all the funds they need for their own down payment but still really wants solar. This is a great option for buyers who want solar but have their own down payment to acquire top-notch solar at a very discounted price. Now here we have the 2 different options using down payment assistance with solar. One is a 3.5% down payment assistance option, and one is a 5% down payment assistance option. So let's take a look at how these shape up in comparison to one another. So here's the standard FHA loan option, and this means the buyer's bringing in their down payment. Now, the down payment in all of these scenarios is exactly the same, because the down payment for FHA is always 3.5%. And being that our purchase price is $500,000, that means our down payment is $17,500 in all of these examples. Now, the closing costs estimated around $8,000, meaning that the total funds to close for both down payment and closing costs with the standard FHA loan is about $25,500. Now, if we look at the traditional down payment assistance programs, we can see that the closing costs are significantly more. So remember, Down payment assistance programs, what a lot of people call first-time buyer programs, are specifically designed to help buyers with the down payment. But there's always a trade-off. A lot of people are under the impression that first-time buyer programs, aka down payment assistance programs, have lower rates and lower fees, and actually the exact opposite is the case. There's always a trade-off with everything. So in return for the down payment assistance, you're going to pay a higher fee. That's true all of the time, and you're almost always going to pay a higher rate. So we have additional closing costs, which means although the more traditional style down payment assistance programs do offer more down payment assistance than just the down payment to help cover like closing costs, the closing costs are also more significant. So it does take care of the lion's share of what's needed, but there is a still small amount of money needed from the home buyer. Now here is the solar only assistance. I'm not going to talk too much about that because this is more about down payment assistance, so I'm happy to give anybody more information about that should the need arise. Looking at the 3.5% down payment assistance. So with that, the down payment, again, the down payment assistance is, of course, the down payment because it's the 3.5% assistance program. They're going to save on their utilities by about $71 a month. They're going to get a tax credit when they file their taxes for getting solar of over $13,000. Remember, that is only good until December 31st of this year, 2025. After that, the tax credit goes away, but this program will still remain viable and everything else about the program still will be enforced. The only thing is there won't be a tax credit. The closing costs, because this is a standard FHA loan, but just including solar, are the same, meaning that compared to the FHA loan, the potential home buyer is bringing in $17,500 less, needing about $8,000, aka the closing costs, out of their own pocket. Now, if they go for the 5% down payment assistance, then they're getting $25,000 of assistance. They're saving a little bit more money per month on their utilities because it's a larger system. Larger systems give more down payment assistance. That's how that works. Okay. The tax credit is also significantly larger, again, going away on December 31st of this year. The down payment itself and the closing costs are the same, which means that they're saving over the standard FHA loan $25,000. So as you can see, just from a perspective of how much funds you need to bring in, they can get the 5% assistance program if they're interested in it and come in with almost no money, but the same as the traditional down payment assistance program, but they're going to pay more closing costs, right? So what's the benefit? What's the difference between this one and this one? Well, that answer is on page 2. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But just real quickly right here, you see features. This has to do with the solar panel system itself. Now, I will tell you, I've researched this thoroughly. The solar panels that they use are the #1 rated panels available on the market, as are the batteries. So these are not, bargain basement discount solar panels. These are top of the line, #1 rated in the whole country, and I have verified that. And so these are great systems to be installed on your home, and they come backed by a fantastic warranty that I'm going to talk briefly about at the end of this video. So let's talk about the loan scenario itself and the monthly payment, because that's what everybody really cares about. Besides the funds to close, what's my monthly payment going to be? So with the standard FHA loan, just the traditional FHA loan, okay, so what you'll notice here is that the loan amounts are going to be different in all of these different options. So with the FHA standard loan, it's going to be the purchase price less the down payment plus the upfront PMI, and then that's going to be your final loan amount. With more traditional down payment assistance programs, okay, you're going to have a first mortgage and a second mortgage, meaning your combined loan amount is $518,000, okay? Now, loan amounts don't apply if you're just getting just the solar only. Obviously, again, I'm not going to talk about that. And you can see what the loan amounts are for the 3.5% assistance and the 5% assistance programs. So with the FHA loan, the standard FHA loan, you have a monthly payment of about almost $3,500. We'll just call it $3,500 to make the math simple, okay? Now, coming over to the more traditional down payment assistance programs, remember we have 2 loans, and we have a first mortgage with a rate that's going to be higher than what's typical with standard FHA. So these other 4 options all use the standard current market FHA rate, whatever it happens to be at the time. At the time of the preparation of this, it was 6.25%. But you see with the more traditional down payment assistance programs, in addition to the fees being higher, there's also a higher interest rate. And remember, there's a second mortgage involved with these more traditional down payment assistance programs, and the interest rate on that is usually higher than the first mortgage, making that interest rate 7.75. Okay, so this is your total loan amount combined for both first and second mortgages on traditional down payment assistance programs. So what does the monthly payment look like? Well, remember, with the more traditional down payment assistance programs, you have two payments, a payment on the first mortgage and a payment on the second mortgage. But including all the taxes and insurance, you're looking at about $3,850, right? So about $350 more than the standard FHA loan where the buyer just brings in their own down payment and pays their own closing costs. This is normal. Okay. Now skipping over to the 3.5% down payment assistance program. Okay. There's only one loan and it's at the regular FHA fair market rate. So your total payment with principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is about, we'll just call it $3,800. So about $300 more than the standard FHA loan and about $50 less than the traditional down payment assistance program. Now, if we come over here to the 5% down payment assistance option using solar, we have the principal and interest, all adding in all the taxes and insurance and mortgage insurance, making the total payment a little over $3,900 per month, which is about $420 or so over the traditional FHA, standard FHA mortgage payment, and just a few dollars more than the traditional down payment assistance programs, which is about $60 or so per month higher. But in return, you get savings on your utilities, the solar panels, and until December 31st, you get the big tax credit. So I think the solar program is great and it has its uses, especially if you're interested in solar. Yes, you will save money on your utilities, which will help offset the payment. And until December 31st, you're going to get that big tax credit. Of course, that's going to go away. But for me, I like solar because I like the idea of being independent and not having to depend on the government or the city to provide my power, that I can still be, especially in times of an emergency, have the ability to have power to my home. So for me, it's more of an independence thing, but this does provide a different alternative without so many restrictions and guidelines and extra costs than more traditional down payment options. So Arcasa, the company that manages the solar portion of this program, has a fantastic 25-year warranty, and they offer lifetime coverage on several things. For example, labor. They cover the first $100 per hour and $300 per truck roll, meaning service call, okay? So they cover the roof 100% for the life of the solar panels. So if the panels somehow were damaged the roof when they were installed or whatever, they will cover the roof repair at no charge whatsoever for the life of the panels. They have a lifetime coverage of all parts, and there's never any cost to diagnose or repair the panels should they fail. Arcasa has a really amazing customer service team. They start working with the borrower both before the loan closes and long after the loan closes. So just to point out something very important, the solar panels do not need to be installed prior to loan closing. We can close on these loans in the exact same time frame that we would with any other standard FHA loan or down payment assistance program. The installation takes place post-closing, and the Arcasa team is very good about getting with the clients before closing so they know what to expect and staying in touch with them all throughout the process of installation post-closing. And they have a wonderful system completion guide with information about their warranty and customer service and just everything they need to know so that they will always be able to contact somebody in need and know exactly what the benefits of their solar panel system is. So in sum, the Solar Panel Down Payment Assistance Program offers another alternative for down payment assistance with less fees, better rates, no additional time, no additional guidelines and restrictions with sales price or income limits, and provides the benefit and independence of having solar panels on your home. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, my information is here at the end of the video and also in the email that I sent you. Please don't hesitate to call me anytime. I'm always happy to help and answer any questions. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk with you soon. Take care.